Welcome
Hello!
to Pastor J Reviews.
And Jessica's here too.
And Jessica Reviews. She's the comedian. And here we go with Encanto.
Encanto, sí. Así
Encanto.
lo dice. Encanto.
I'm trying to say it right.
Don't say Encanto. It's like
Encanto.
nails on a chalkboard. It's not how you say it.
So, this
Although,
movie...
I have heard it in the movie where they're like, our Encanto, or it's more an A, and I was like, that's when it's English as a second language, y'all, because vowels are weird in English.
Listen to my Puerto Rican wife. She will
I tell you
how to
what's
say
up.
it. And if you say it
Encanto.
wrong, be
I'll let
ready
you
to
know.
be corrected. It's fine.
He speaks from experience.
It's all good. So, Encanto is by Disney. It's a musical, basically.
Yes.
Animated musical.
Fabulous.
PG.
Big fan.
And it was, in my opinion, it was done very well.
It was. It was really
done
good.
very well.
It was
I had a few moments in there where I was thinking, oh, are they going to be going to an agenda? But they didn't quite go to an agenda.
No.
And I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Because it seems like in today's day and age, seems like they're going to go to an agenda.
You're sort of waiting for this shoe to drop, right?
They do, yeah.
Yeah. You sort of do. Yeah.
But they didn't. And
The agenda, in my opinion, was this.
yes, say
To
it.
experience, to show, to let you enter into the culture of a Hispanic family.
Absolutely.
And they did that really well. It brought back a lot of memories and a lot of like, oh my goodness, this is my culture. This is who we are. This is how we talk to each other, and all this silliness and the family dynamic, multi-generational family dynamic in one house. It's a pretty big deal.
And the care and the love and the togetherness of a family environment. And anyone who's experienced that before in any culture, this movie's gonna speak to.
Yeah.
And anyone who hasn't experienced that before, you might be able to learn from this movie.
Yeah, this movie is about family.
Yes.
It's about experiencing family. It's about the struggles of a family. It's about the love and care for each other in family. And like nobody gets it right. Nobody gets it 100% right 100% of the time. And so they show that, and you can relate to that. It's very relatable in the sense of, wow, I've had a similar experience with my family, but we all still love each other. And how do we reconcile some of our discrepancies and like the black sheep of the family sometimes, and not feeling as good as someone else in your family or as well known as someone in your family. And so exploring all those feelings and
Feelings of inadequacy, feelings of am I enough?
right. So
Yeah.
it's but then there's a lot of togetherness and a lot of love, a lot of food.
And how do we bring all
deliciousness.
of our uniqueness and our quirks, and how do we bring them together?
Yeah.
And I would say, I'm going to dive into a critique real quick.
Okay.
So there's one the biggest critique I have, and the biggest obstacle, I would say, for this movie is the speed of the words in the songs.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Lin-Manuel Miranda is a brilliant lyricist.
Amazing.
Brilliant. He also did Hamilton. He did the music for Moana. Brilliant. And so this is all of his original stuff, and it's done really, really well. But he's like a rap ballad singer, lyricist, spoken word,
music.
Hispanic fast talk, and that's what we do. We're like, bah, 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 bah. That's how we talk. That's what we do. So you have to keep up. So subtitles.
But sometimes you can't.
But you can't always. So I recommend the subtitles so you can catch the flow of the words.
Here's the thing about it, like, you're not going to.
But the feeling is there. You can feel it in the music, though. You feel what's happening.
The first time watching this movie, which we've now watched it multiple times.
Any other parent have it going every now and again, or
In
at least
our
the
house.
soundtrack all the time.
But the first time watching this movie, you will not catch all the lyrics. I promise you.
Yeah,
It is
I think so.
okay. They do catch you up. You will figure out who most of these characters are probably before the end of the movie.
Listen, I don't know who everybody is in my family half the time anyway. Like, who's here?
It feels-
Mina, are you here?
It feels like a Hispanic family reunion. I've been to many. It does. Because you're like, who's that cousin? Who's that uncle? I don't know. Are they together? Or is that person with this person?
This was my husband's first meeting with my family. That's what the movie is.
This is real.
This is how you introduce your...
That is a real thing. Now that is what it will feel like. It feels like you're opening your mouth to a fire hose and trying to take a drink, just going like information, and names, and people, and that's like a Hispanic family reunion.
It's loud and fast and fabulous.
That is like this movie. Now, because it's fast, because it's getting thrown at you like this, the second, the third watch, the fourth, the fifth watch.
The 12th.
There's more to be found. There's more. You will always find something else in this movie.
Yeah.
And that's probably what's made it real popular. That's probably, why your kids, after watching this movie, they get hooked on it.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening to the songs all the time in the car, and they're listening to them over and over again to try and memorize the lyrics, to understand what's being said.
They all take parts. You're Peppa, you're Dolores, you're this, you're that. And then they all try to do the choreography. Woo! Hold up.
Yeah.
It's a fun time.
We don't talk about Bruno.
But we sing about him.
Yes, we do.
Indeed.
So, and that's a hit song. They had, and what's
so
the other? I forget the name of the hit song. Surface Pressure is the other hit song. And I just
both really well done.
Detour a little bit from what we were talking about. Surface Pressure and the actor that they have this strong,
Louisa.
Physically,
yeah,
a strong woman, okay, and a young lady.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't feel the need to make her a man.
Yeah.
A man trapped in a woman's body. No. She's a woman. She just happens to be strong.
Yep, and that is okay.
And that's okay.
Yes, it is.
That's great.
Louisa's fantastic. I love that about her, that she's still very feminine, very secure in who she is as a woman. She dresses like a woman. She acts like a woman.
Yep.
She's just also very strong, and she's the one who has the strength and the ability.
The super strength.
The super strength, right? Because all the family members except one have a special gift, or two technically. The special gift, right? Their special blessing, and that's part of the magic of the show, of the movie. But that she's has all of that, but then she also talks about the vulnerability in the song Surface Pressure of like feeling the burden and the weight of carrying family burden, of physically doing the manual labor, of being the one who feels like she has to be the protector of the family.
Which is relatable.
So, it's super relatable.
It's relatable for men and women.
Yes.
Both.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There are women who fill that role in a lot of ways as kind of like the ones who are always having to be strong for their family emotionally and keep the thing running, keep everything running. Right. There are men who feel that way and needing to be the strong one emotionally, needing to be the one who's fixing things and keeping things going and being the provider. So it was relatable on both sides, and it worked.
Yeah. Yeah, each of the characters have a relatability to them. Like when we talk about Isabela, she's the perfect one, right? And so, but then she has the pressure of always feeling like she has to be perfect. Yeah. And so a lot of people can feel that too, and then relating to, I don't want things to be perfect. Can I just experience life and not have this expectation where I'm always feeling like I'm not going to do a good job? And so there's that development in there too. And then obviously with Mirabel not having a gift. And trying to figure out what her place is in the family. She feels left out. She feels less than. Is she enough? Is she even, and she has a really great disposition throughout the movie about it even.
She's trying to make the most of it.
Like, hey, I'm still part of, I have an amazing family. I'm part of an amazing family. I have an amazing house. Like, that means I'm part of that too, and I'm part of that amazingness.
Then that closes in on her, and she explodes a little, but that's part of her character development.
Absolutely,
it's great. Yeah, I like that. She's not a perfect character. She's not this Mary Sue that can do anything. She's not this person who's perfectly well-adjusted emotionally.
Right.
Like anybody, any human being, that would get to.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. For sure.
It would get to you at some point, and you have to be able to process through that, and she shows what processing through that looks like.
Yeah.
And then of course the relationship with her sister Isabel, which was a heart strings kind of part of the story, where the sisters were fighting all the time,
get along
and figuring out how to work live together and not fight.
Yeah, no, that's wrong.
And appreciate each other. So those are some big character threads of this movie. How the family is about to get torn apart, and it kind of gets put back together. But the Encanto means what?
Enchantment.
So basically, the whole movie is magic.
It is. Yeah.
The whole family is magic. It is literally in the very threads of the movie, and it's done in such a way that it's kind of like it's a way to take natural giftings and uniqueness and take them up to 11, put them on
Super
steroids.
amplified, yeah.
Amplified.
Yeah, super.
And that's kind of the point. It's an analogy for our natural giftings and that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, and in fact, it was interesting in the what's his name? Antonio, the youngest boy, when he's going to get his gift. You see beforehand that he's an animal guy, and his gift turned out to be that he is able to understand animals. And so it really does take that, like, what is your natural thing, and then amplify it super high. And so that's really kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, and I think the magic in the story, if you're really magic averse, you will not, you might want to stay away. That said, they do it in a way that I think is pretty, it's tasteful. It's not like voodoo. It's not like, it's just their natural giftings amplified, but it's definitely magic.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Right, there's a magic candle that doesn't stop burning.
Definitely
that
magic.
Doesn't happen.
They talk about it in terms of miracle and blessing, and this is our miracle, and we're to be a blessing to our community and all that kind of stuff.
I liked the way that they used that language. I appreciated that rather than, we're just magic and we're better and this and that. No, it's a giving back. And that's interesting with Abuelo. Abuela says that, we have to earn our blessing. We give back to earn our blessing. Like, we receive this blessing, so we need to honor it and to earn it. And so that's part of their giving back to the community. How do we serve our community? We've been given these great gifts, and we need to serve and reach out and give back. But there's that pressure again of having to keep and to earn it to deserve the blessing, deserve the miracle. And so that becomes a pressure point also.
Let's talk about the villain in this movie.
Because there isn't one.
There's no villain.
There's no villain.
If
you think...
It has a character arc. The whole movie goes somewhere, but it doesn't need one. It doesn't need a villain.
If you think Abuela's the villain, you have not understood Hispanic culture family.
No.
Abuela's not the villain.
Nope.
Mirabel's not the villain. Bruno's not the villain.
Nope.
Nobody's the villain. This is literally a movie about family and all of our personalities coming together and how we make all that work. Obviously, it's to the 11th degree, right? It's super amplified, but it brings it to light in such a way where we don't need a villain in life, right? There's enough family and interesting relationship. This is about relationship. And so there's no villain to speak of. There's no like good versus evil here. This is like a how do we as a family overcome our challenges? Overcome some struggles.
There is some bad decisions.
Sure.
There's some choices that hurt.
But it's not like you're fighting against a villain in a superhero movie. There's no that.
There are bad decisions, but they're not bad people.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's how it's framed.
Right, and misguided, right? Like, okay, like Abuela is so concerned about keeping the magic, and then the great disappointment when Mirabel doesn't get her gift when she's little, and then overcoming that. And how does she deal with that emotionally and concern for the family? And so she's always like in this struggle, and you'll notice she has her black shawl almost the entire movie on, and that's a symbol of mourning. Like she's in mourning from losing her husband at the beginning and trying to raise 3 triplets all by herself and have this house and serve the community.
And also thinking that the magic's going away.
Right.
Thinking that the family's gonna fall apart. Like she
losing
has
her
that.
son for a significant portion of time. Return of
she kind of kicked him out, but yeah.
Well, he left too. There was a thing. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
And his redemption arc is a huge heart emotional thread of this movie.
Which is Bruno.
Bruno, yeah.
Bruno's
redemption and being pulled back into the family is important. It's very important to this movie.
And I love how they received him.
Yeah.
Like, hey, don't worry about it. We're just glad you're here. You know, his sisters missed him.
Right. And so that's it brings it together. There is no villain except maybe at the very beginning of the story. Yeah,
when the people, I don't know what they're called.
They kill Abuelo.
Where where they're coming through and they're burning the village.
Yeah.
When
Those people are villains.
When are at the beginning, you know, when they first have their baby. They're burning villages, they're torching villages, and so that's the villain at the beginning, but you're not struggling with them all moving.
No, that's not the struggle.
That's part of the origin of the Encanto.
It's just, that's just the setup.
Yep.
So, very well done. It depicts, in my opinion, and it seemed like yours as well, Hispanic culture very well. It does a good job with the family aspects that are so important to Hispanic culture.
So huge.
And you know, I think it treats the magic in a good way. There's lots of lessons to be learned for how to do family well.
Yeah.
I think in terms of Judeo-Christian ethic, I think, you know, redeeming people, you know, calling people back home.
Yeah.
Those are themes that matter, and they do a good job.
Yeah.
So I think they get a little bit away from the follow your heart thing that Disney's been doing so much, you know, which is terrible. It's a terrible implication to our kids, and they get more into following your heart. If it takes you into these really unhealthy relationships, might not be what's supposed to be good. Maybe family's better. Maybe family's more important.
Yeah. And you know, each character is not just one thing.
Yeah.
Luisa's not just strong.
And
Isabella's not just pretty and
they
flowery.
all have flaws.
And they all do.
All the characters.
We're all cracked, we're all flawed, we're all broken people, and we all have things that we can overcome, and we all need to support and be in community with one another to see it be successful.
Yeah.
For us to succeed in life.
So, Encanto. We're gonna rate it. Encanto. We're gonna rate it.
It's a problem I have, you guys.
We're gonna rate Encanto right now, and the movie on a scale of 1 to 10 for first how the movie itself, how much you like the movie, and then on a scale of 1 to 10 for Christian values and.
Okay. I always forget about the number system. Go.
So I'm gonna give it an 8 for the movie itself, because the entry point's kind of high. Like the first time through, you're not gonna catch everything.
Oh, that's a good point. I was gonna go with like 9 because I really enjoy it.
Hey, we can disagree. It's fine. And then on Christian values and beliefs, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I think it's.
Yeah, I'd go with about an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think about it? You don't have to agree with us. You can put it in the comments.
But I do have a question.
What's
Do
that?
you talk about Bruno? See you guys.
God bless.